What if I literally told you that fear is not a bad thing? It's not the enemy. And if you actually learn to embrace it, it would put you exactly where you want it to be. It would put you into your dream life. It would help you become the ideal version of yourself. It would help you achieve any goal that you want and absolutely become magnetic to anything that you want to attract. Would you look at life differently? Would you approach your fears differently? And would you learn to embrace confronting them? I need you to start using fear to make decisions in your life, because that is the only way that you are actually going to become the highest version of yourself and live a life that you literally dream about. You are not going to become a person that allows fear to keep them stuck in life, because that is what the majority of people do, and that is exactly what holds them back from living in their potential. They overthink, they avoid taking risks, they wait until they feel ready, but I promise you that moment's never going to come, and you do not need to wait on any of those things to start living in your own potential and actually becoming the ideal version of yourself. Fear is always going to point you in the right direction if you embrace it and allow it to. And by the end of this video, I promise you, you are going to be able to use fear as a tool to getting anything you want out of your life. And it is going to help you make bold, life-changing decisions that help you transform into a brand new identity. Truth is, we've always been taught that fear is danger. It is bad. It is something that we should avoid because it's unsafe to our body. It's unsafe to our nervous system. And we've been taught that so that it keeps us comfortable in life. Because we're afraid to confront our fears because it's the unknown. It's unfamiliar. It's something that's not safe to our body. So we automatically assume it's something that we should completely avoid, when in reality we should learn to confront it and use it as a tool to completely change our life. And I promise you, it is one of the only things that is going to allow you to have the biggest transformation. The truth about fear is that your brain automatically perceives it as a threat, even if it is something that is good for you. The reason that it's good for you is because your fear is actually tied to your intuition, and your intuition is the exact guiding system that is going to put you exactly where you want to be. Fear and intuition are the same exact thing. We just see intuition as excitement, whereas fear is something that scares us, right? But we need to learn to teach our body that there is no difference between the two, and if we learn to embrace what scares us and excites us at the same exact time, all those decisions are going to lead us down the path that is actually meant for us. Things that scare you and excite you, I promise you, they are the right move to make in your life. Embrace fear, embrace change. It is going to put you where you want to be. You are going to start to use fear as a decision-making tool by asking yourself these exact questions. What decisions am I currently avoiding making in my life? What decisions am I afraid to take the leap, take the jump, and do in my life? Getting deeper with yourself and asking yourself why you feel that way about those certain things, and then asking yourself, if I were to make these exact decisions in my life right now, would it put me exactly where I wanted to be? Are my fears directly correlated with the goals and dreams that I want to make a reality for myself? Because the majority of the time, the things that we are afraid to do in our life, the decisions that we are avoiding making, are actually tied to something that we want to achieve for ourselves. So that is why it's so important to learn to embrace fear and see it as a tool instead of something that really hinders your growth. It's learning to change your perspective of seeing fear as something that is danger or unsafe to your body to just seeing it as something that's uncomfortable. Because I'm going to be honest, growth in your life is uncomfortable, and in order to live out the life of your dreams and achieve anything that you want for yourself, you need to learn to embrace pushing your comfort zone and facing your own fears. Uncomfortable does not mean bad, it just means growth. So if these fears are not life-threatening to you, then it's definitely a sign that you should take that leap. Your fears are your GPS system in your life. It is your natural system that is trying to guide you to exactly where you need to be. And the exact thing that you're avoiding out of fear is often the exact thing that you need to do. If you allow fear to guide you through life, there is nothing that you won't achieve. You will unlock your highest potential. You will set the standard for how other people need to approach their life. You will become the inspiration, and you will realize that the only thing that was ever in the way of what you truly wanted for yourself and living out the life of your dreams was your ability to confront the things that you were avoiding, being able to embrace your fears, and understanding that the things you are afraid to do in your life are often the exact decision that you need to make. If there are decisions that you have been putting off for a certain reason, maybe you're scared to do it or you have fears about it, I want you to get real and honest with yourself and build more clarity on that. Why are you avoiding it? Is it really scary, dangerous? Is it life-threatening to you? Or if you actually made this decision, would it benefit you? Would it put you exactly where you need to be? Oftentimes when we are avoiding those decisions that could really benefit us and put us exactly where we desire to be, it is almost a bigger risk to not take that chance, to not take that leap, than it is to actually face it and confront it. You're going to learn to confront your fears by what we first talked about. Ask yourself, am I actually in danger, or am I just uncomfortable? And if you're just uncomfortable, then that is the exact decision that you're going to make. The second part is using your intuition as a GPS, using your fear as a compass through life. And this third part, to help you use fear as a tool to approach your life differently and get anything that you want out of life, is learning to take immediate action on your own fears. Your fears are naturally going to get smaller as you take action, as you start to make these decisions in your life. And you're going to start to realize that when you were afraid to make a certain decision, when you were avoiding it, it was actually hurting you more that way than confronting it. And the more that you hesitate to make these decisions in your life, the more challenging it is going to be for your future self to actually face it. Because your fear gets stronger over time. It's like a balloon constantly expanding. The more that you avoid it, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you just need to learn to pop it and confront it. So you're going to start taking immediate action by defining a certain fear that you've been avoiding lately in your life. What is a really big goal that you've been wanting to achieve, and why are you holding yourself back from it? How are you self-sabotaging it? What is that fear really trying to tell you when you want to approach and start achieving that goal? And choose one small action that you can start getting closer to that goal right now and confronting that fear. The sooner that you embrace failure, the faster you're going to succeed. For example, if you want to become a content creator, you're afraid to speak on camera, you're not confident, you have a fear of what people are going to think about you, how people are going to perceive you, I really challenge you to face it, to maybe post one video, to start showing up for yourself, and to start facing exactly the things that you've been really struggling with, because you can't get to that goal without taking that action, and your fear is in the middle of that. It's making that decision, confronting that fear, and being successful. You're afraid to show up for yourself, do it anyways. Commit to yourself, even if it's one small baby step. Allow yourself to overcome that fear so that you can actually get to the other side and achieve exactly what you want. Because if you have a dream of becoming a content creator and you have a huge fear of showing up online, how are you going to be able to achieve that goal if you don't show up for yourself? You have to take the first step. You have to do the hard decisions, overcoming those challenges, going through those moments that really force you to show up brand new in your life so that you can get to the other side and actually achieve the goals that you desire to achieve. There is always a major breakthrough when someone feels deep-seated fear, but they act anyway. And that is the exact moment that their life changes. What if your biggest fear is actually your biggest opportunity? Because it was for me. I almost let fear stop me from the biggest opportunities in my life. When there were things that I truly wanted for myself, but I was always seeking validation outside of me. I wanted guidance from other people. I wanted other people to help me get to where I wanted to be. When I wanted to make the biggest decision in my life, I was constantly seeking validation outside of me. I was always asking people, how can I achieve this? How can I get past this fear? How can I get closer to this goal? And people were constantly talking me out of it. They said I couldn't achieve it. They said I was making a mistake. They said I shouldn't do it. And my biggest mistake was that I was afraid to make this decision, which is exactly why I was constantly seeking validation. But I knew that I needed to make it to put myself where I wanted to be. And once I started to trust myself and actually face that fear and confront it and realize that the only way that I was going to get to where I wanted to be was just to face it head on, that is when so many opportunities started to come to me. That is when doors started to open. That is when I started to build a confidence in myself that was so self-built that no one could take it from me, because I started to trust myself in my life. I started to act on my own intuition, following my own GPS system, not listening to the opinions of other people and what they had achieved in their life. Because if I had a different vision than the next person, then I needed to embrace that. And I can't be asking advice on how to achieve it from the next person if they haven't been there, if they haven't seen those results. I had to learn to confront it myself and embrace that experience. And ever since I've done it, it has allowed me to show up brand new in my life. It has allowed me to get closer to where I want to be. I made this decision despite the fear that I felt, and it completely changed and transformed my life. And that is why I want you to understand that the only way that you are going to get to where you want to be in your life is to face the things that you're avoiding, to confront your fears, to just go through it, because the only way to get past it is to face it. And growth is uncomfortable. You have to embrace pushing your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take risks in your life if you want to be successful, because success is not where you're comfortable. It is where you push yourself as a person. It is where you constantly reinvent who you are. So I want you to determine what is one decision that you have been avoiding making that you can commit to yourself right now to make, and to let go of the external validation, to start trusting yourself, to start making bold decisions in your life so that you can allow yourself to live in your own potential. Fear will guide you into your dream life if you allow it to. And the majority of the time, there is no difference between fear and our own intuition. They are directly correlated with each other, because if we're afraid to make a certain decision in our life, there's something that we're avoiding, we're staying where we're comfortable, that is the exact decision that's going to put us where we want to be. Those fears are always directly tied to a result that we want to create. So start getting clear and honest with yourself about what exactly that is. Allow your own fears to work for you. Use it as a tool to get through your life. Stop avoiding it, because the more that you avoid it, the more you hold yourself in your own comfort zone. And that is not where the thriving, most successful, happiest, fulfilled version of you is. The truth is, fear is not stopping your potential. Waiting for the right moment is. You're never going to feel 100% ready. And the longer you wait, the more you push off facing these fears, the more power it really holds over you, and the stronger it gets over time, and the harder it is going to be to really face it. But the second that you learn to take action, fear loses all of that power, because it starts to get smaller and smaller. It has less control over you. If I had allowed fear to hold me back in my life, I wouldn't be exactly where I am right now. I would have held myself back from a lot of opportunities, a lot of success, a lot of growth as a person. And I've learned to embrace it, because anytime I pushed my comfort zone, it always put me closer to where I wanted to be in my life. It always brought me closer to a better version of myself. And I want you to understand that fear is not a bad thing. It is actually the key to your dream life. You deserve to live a life that fulfills you, and you need to learn to trust yourself. And if you want to continue to unlock your own potential, then I will see you in the next video.